All right, folks, welcome to Nino's Corner.tv. I have a big, fabulous show today, a big, beautiful show today. Dannion Brinkley's with me, and was just discussing with him on the phone. What's your thoughts on the big, beautiful bill? And he just gave it to me. Actually, I nailed it, didn't I? When you
Yep.
said, "What do you think it's for?" I said, "This is what I think's happening." Dannion, thank you so much for joining me.
It's just such a pleasure, David. The things that I'm smiling because no matter all that stuff that you and your audience go on and put on the air, there is a stable place that's coming out from you and them that's making a difference. Because when you look at you're knowing through all the stuff you're listening to that there is a strategy at play. Okay.
Yes.
Well, there's a lot about the big, beautiful bill that I don't like. Okay, then you're in reconciliation now. Well, I was thinking about this before I contacted you. Do you realize that you and your audience, we pushed the child trafficking issue to the point of where the Secretary of Health and Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy, went on national television and said that the house that the home that the health program that he was ahead of had participated in child trafficking under the Biden administration.
Crazy.
Do you realize that the phone calls that your people made, they called up and they followed that call up, pushed it all the way to where the Secretary of Health and Human Services went on national television and said we were right? That's two things, David. That means that the power that we still have as the battle goes on, the power that we still have is still to be reckoned with. The
Right.
little group of warriors come together, make that phone call and see it.
You
So,
said you said first. You called me and said we got to talk about the 300,000 missing children, or is it 300,000 or
well, it
350,000?
was 34,000 then. It was
I thought it was
34,000.
okay.
That was,
All right, but you said we got to bring this out right now, and then everyone will follow suit. And I was like, okay, you got it, Danny. And I jumped on here with you, and boom, it took off like a wildfire. Everyone was covering it, but you broke it first, and I know for a fact you did. It's time stamped.
well, we're going to break another one, okay?
All right, let's
Because
go.
because not only that, David, what is so fun is I was laughing and I did get a tear because to realize all of us that are out here, we're watching the insanity going on. And most of it I really like because I believe we're in a whole new age and a whole nother world is coming into play. I also saw this in the vision from 1975. I have watched the future come into existence. So when I was thinking about that, when you sit and know that kind of power and know that we still got it, and you to realize there's a strategy behind it when I ask you about the bill, because I was in a conversation the other day
Can I say with
with, a,
well, not the names, but they were
yeah,
prominent people, right? They were very prominent.
yeah, it was a two-star general, a colonel, and a major,
Okay,
and
it's pretty big.
three other people. One is a UN guy. Okay, one's a UN guy. One's an expert in sovereignty law. The other is a expert in attorney general structure. And then I had another meeting because I they need me because I am a strategist in that world.
And I
They
can
need
understand
my,
that. I can understand
yeah,
that.
because you know the other side.
Yeah.
Okay. So when I think about it, they need me as a strategist, but I need them for the Brinkley Center. What I gave the last thing I need to accomplish in my life based on 50 years of following a vision is this center. Okay. It's what I'm doing right now. It's what I always talk about. I need their help. I need to help veterans, and this is what I was trying to do. So they were talking for a moment about politics, and I said, listen, why do you think they're pushing this bill so hard?
The big,
You
beautiful
know?
bill.
Yeah. Okay. And this two-star general said, look, if 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 Trump can get this bill passed and it's law on July the 4th, he's going to declare the end of the United States corporation.
Wow. Huge right there, folks. There it is. Declare the end of America, Inc. So this bill will allow him to do that? I mean, is it in the bill? I don't understand how this works.
But wait, it's 940 pages. Okay, well, the moment I hear that, because that's conspiracy theory to me, okay? I mean, that's somebody talking crap. These are generals. You know, they need a strategy. They're not crazy. I listen to the person, I watch what they're doing, and I realize that if this guy sees that, knowing who he sees that, what is really, really happening? So I look at the Democratic side. What is the opposition? Because now it's in reconciliation between the House and the Senate. So that Donald wants to announce it on the 4th of July. Well, if you add the fact that he gets his bill passed, which is everything is in it, it's everything in the world's in it. I mean, everything. I mean, it makes him he can own Saturn. He doesn't need Greenland. He can have Saturn, okay? Well, if he gets that passed, and why? And I say, well, is he pushing it? Yes, everybody's pushing it, okay? So I look at the opposition. Chuck demanded.
Chuck Schumer.
Yeah, Chuck. He demanded, before they could start conversation, that every single page had to be read on the Senate floor.
And that would be like the first time in history they ever read a bill.
Think about it. I did the same thing. I said, for the America to be able to sit whenever they want to tune that in and listen to it, the same as what Droge did, what Elon did, and find billions and billions of dollars. Billions. When you think of that, and you think that that money was not, that structure of Doge was not incorporated into law. This was an issue I had, because if I was Donald, I'd have made that law. Okay, because then as they're doing this big B, this BBB bill, then there would be ways to operate and negotiate and to make sure it stays under the Doge rules. You can't waste that money. When that didn't happen, the first thing I was thinking was, how big a deal is this? Well, now with the generals, okay, talking, the sovereignty law person talking, the physicist talking, this is two separate meetings on the same day. The physicist talking, I realized that we sit at the precipice of an opportunity that never before have I seen in my life. Okay. And that Donald's blown up everything, went to NATO, threatened everybody, did everything that he had to do to push them. Pushed him. And politically be stable and sane, because he wanted people to come to the table and make a deal. I mean, they're looking at it pure politics.
This could lead to the conspiracy of 𝗦𝗫𝗃.
And then I started looking at who's all talking about that. Every freaking body's talking about it. So out there in the conspiracy hinterlands is all the reinforcement that what if the possibility of a politician or a president of the United States could say what all of us patriots know, and he could bring it in to reality once he passed that bill. Do you grip where we sit as a nation? Where we sit as a people? We all know the 1871. We all know the 1913. We all know the 1933 bankruptcy. We all know that. We know the birth certificate. We know that the moment you're born, the birth certificate the states that you're dead. That means you're at birth, which is where you put a boat when you stop it. You birth it. Okay, we all know that. But what happens when it's not just a conversation between you and me? What happens are people who know this. What if it's like the Secretary of Health and Homeland Security? Health and Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy, goes on national television and says administration, and I think it's more administrations, but this administration, which makes Homeland Security complicit in child trafficking.
Mm.
And America sat still, except for us, the little band that made that phone call, the little group of you, the people on your show who made that phone call and made a difference to where that can happen. Well, I was thankful to everybody who listens to this because I get to see the numbers. And, there's 35,000 of your listeners that come and listen to what we talk about. Okay, and I think about that, and I need for those people to know how much I appreciate them, how much I appreciate you. Now, I appreciate everybody who comes on the show, but how much I appreciate them because they made a move that forced it out into the public to where it was the top dog who said we were right.
Right.
All right?
Yeah.
Well, here we are again. So what I'd like for people to do, David, is there is nothing, because if you don't know what the bill says, and I don't know everything it says, but I look at it, it's my obsessive compulsive, read really fast self. And if it has all the stuff in it that I see, and Donald gets it, he's in position. And what I laugh about as a politician is the brilliance of who is helping him achieve this. This is brilliant strategy.
But what it also does, Danny, and you agreed with me on this, it forces their move, right, to do something desperate to stop it, which could be, I don't know, a terrorist attack.
They got to do something.
They got to do something to stop it. So that's why we may be looking at something happening on 4th of July.
And you see, I thought when I talked to you, David, I'm not I'm not going off on tangents. I'm not. But when I see all this kind of stuff and it pieces together, then I need people to be aware. I can't say what we're saying right now is absolutely true, except the Secretary of Health and Human Services went on national television and said the administration was smuggling child trafficking. And where did those children go? Okay, that's what he said. We forced that hand. We did. Okay, so if this stuff is possible and there could be an event, is that we all quietly know what that event was about, what it really was about, okay? Because if he can't say it on July the 4th, which would be monumental in the 249th year of the celebration of this nation.
He ends the corporation, man, on July 4th. Wow.
If he has his bill and he can have that for the rest of this run, okay, and he can have that, then that gives him the potential and possibility, whether I like it or not, because Doge was not incorporated in it.
Yeah, I'm sure that's why Elon doesn't like it. Elon doesn't like it.
Because why Elon doesn't like it, and he goes acting like a child. Everybody that's on the spectrum, David. And I'm sorry I'm a little rowdy today, but everybody's on the come on, I'm a realist. I've been dead so many times, it's like a comedy routine, okay? But when you get down into the weeds right here, I can get to the weeds with the best of them, okay? So when Elon, when he could not get Doge enacted within the structure, he acted like a child, okay? And I don't care. And I don't pay attention to all that because he's a component in the game. And he's done his job to make us aware that the system that's the United States of America, Inc., is stealing, robbing, and selling children. Okay? And he has brought that to where it's aware, and we either know it or don't know it. But if you don't know it, It means that you don't pay any attention, or you're so scared or so weak or so afraid
So
that you
they
just
need
follow the
they
system.
they got to stop this. If they feel it, so they got to make some kind of a distraction. They're
You
already
got to
putting
do
up
something.
barricades and fences. But Danny, they're already putting barricades and fences around the White House and Treasury right
Think
now.
about it. Think about it. If he's going to declare
Oh,
he's going to declare, see where you are, David? If he's going to declare the end of, and I don't know if this is true, but if
all right.
he's going to declare the end of the corporation,
All right, Dannion, I want to get this up right now. Like, this is huge. And I know we want to go into the trafficking of children. Can you finish it on ninoscorner.tv?
I can do anything you need. I just want to tell everybody thank you for taking, thank you for supporting me in the Brinkley Center, and thank you for supporting the protection and the elevation and the freedom of our country.
Go to Dannion Brinkley. Is it Dannion.com?
It's just Dannion.com.
Dannion.com. I'll put it there. And I'm not going to even do a thumbnail for this because I want to get it out like right now because I have a video premiering like in a few hours. So I want to get this up before it. Will you go on ninoscorner.tv and we'll talk about this in detail?
I will. Just tell everybody if they're watching for something to happen, this is the reason why it happened. And if we know that, we can watch it from how it's going to play itself out, and we can call on the phone and impact it again.
Beautiful. All right, Dannion. Thank you.